Now, when that happened to me, that little strange story, I just put it under the heading of, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening to me. And I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I don't know. There's some strange shit happening to me and now, everywhere in the world. Since that time, it's really dawned on me how women are prevented, even in America, based on freedom of religion. There isn't a single church or temple devoted to the divine feminine. And believe me, we want that. But just as here, I can't get to an attorney, even though obviously this is, life-changing money for any attorney that chooses to take on this case. But they're just not coming to me. I mean, they would become, it's easy money and they'd become fabulously wealthy overnight. That you can't lose on the facts and the documentation that I've gathered here. Same thing I think is happening with women trying to worship the divine feminine. There's no church or temple in the entire nation devoted to the divine feminine. That's some crazy shit when you think about it. And even there's a little storefront here in Oakland that was it's like a pagan store, right? So witchcraft and all kinds of paganism. Paganism is basically everything that's not Christian. I wrote a little article about it because basically it's the it comes up against Christian. So anything under the rubric of pagan means you are anti-Christian. And I'm anti-Christian, that's for sure. So even in this little storefront here in Oakland, someone, for no reason except hate, threw a Molotov cocktail through their front window and kind of blew up their store, and they've had to, scramble to fix it. It's crazy. And another piece of evidence along those lines. So when I was in Mexico, hiding out for my life with no money, I started reading tarot cards to the tourists on the beaches to survive, to have enough money for a shelter and some food. And sometimes I failed. Every day was about, trying to get enough tarot readings so that I have food and I have some shelter. And that should never have happened. I'm fabulously wealthy. I come from a fabulously wealthy family. But I couldn't get through to them. They weren't helping me. And my money's all been stolen. So there I was on the beach, just using the tarot cards. And I'm a therapist, and I'm a drama therapist. So I'm a particular kind of therapist that uses archetypes in my work. So it turns out I was pretty good at giving tarot card readings. In fact, I was like, why didn't I do this when I was practicing as a therapist? This is so powerful. This is such a powerful way to work with people. I really liked it. And I really thought it was a potentially transformative, even in these one-off tarot card readings that I would do with these tourists, they felt like they had gotten something really valuable out of it. But here's something interesting, okay? So I would go around asking people if they want a tarot card reading, and the Christians, the devout Christians, oh God, no, that's evil. How stupid do you have to be to think that a tarot card reading is evil, right? These people are so fucking dumb and insane. And if you're a woman and a Christian, I am so sorry for you. You are so brainwashed. You are so beaten down and brainwashed. I mean, these are the people who burned women alive and today are killing us by denying abortion in all different kinds of ways, right? Denying abortion. They're awful. These men are awful. Christian men are hateful towards women, are taught to hate women. If you're a Christian woman, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, you're just an idiot. And I would think that too, as I was going around and offering to read tarot cards, and some of the Christians were like, oh no, that's evil. That's evil? You think a tarot card reading is evil? Your fucking cult is vile. You are evil itself. You are destroying freedom. You're evil. And and I also found out this backstory to Tarot, which is related, of course. So Tarot came from the Cathars, and the Cathars were this, I guess, kind of a Christian cult in the south of France. Now, the interesting thing about the south of France is that is where Mary went to. Like, Mary was kind of, after Jesus died, she was kind of kicked out by the men. And they just tossed her on a boat and sent her away. And, I mean, this is the story, right? And she landed, as the story goes, in the south of France. And lived the rest of her life in a cave there. And so somehow maybe her teachings got out. Because the Cathars are this Christian cult that believes that that the Father God is never right unless the Mother God is the supreme, divine being of the household, of the home, of the family. That is always, the mother must be on top, and the father is only there to serve the mother. So that was the faith of the Cathars that created the tarot cards. And so I can't remember the dates now. At one point, the Christians, being disgusting, vile, oppressive, murderous people that they are, murdered all the Cathars. It was a genocide. They went and they killed all the Cathars and they burned their books. So we don't have a whole lot left. One of the important books for the Cathars was found in a cave in France just recently. And until then, we didn't even really know much about what their faith was. And there's a lot more to it. But that's why the Christians think of Tarot as evil, because they've been brainwashed to believe, because they were, the Cathars were, what do you call it? They were confronting their belief system in a very profound way and saying women, the mother is the most important person in the family. And the father is always there to serve the mother. And, of course, Christians are violently about subjugating and oppressing women. I wrote a couple of articles about the art and science of Tarot. If you guys are interested in reading it, you can find it on my Substack account. There's 2 articles, or just look at my name and Tarot or something, maybe that will come up. I don't know. So, like, all these other pieces are coming together. I think that actually... Oh, and one more, I should say. So on, of course, TikTok, which is the only place we're getting any kind of real information. And that's why they're shutting it down, right? Because it's direct. It's directly from the people. But there are women on there talking about the matriarchy, talking about the divine feminine, talking about what the world would look like if it were a matriarchy, in just such a beautiful way. Like, look, you're blind because we're stuck in this really awful, horrific evil of the patriarchy. But if we were in a matriarchy, it would look like this, or it would look so much better. And the men, of course, these sociopathic, disgusting men, especially the Christians, come on these pages and say vile, horrific, murderous, disgusting things to the women who are putting forth this. I think this is a very hidden thing happening here. The divine feminine is much more important and much more crucial to everything that we're dealing with, but just well hidden. The most holiest place I have ever been to in my life was the Hagia Sophia in Turkey, and it is a secret place of worship for the divine feminine. And I've never been in a place that I never wanted to leave, filled with women. And if we were free to worship as we would like, as we should be in America, there would be versions of the Hagia Sophia everywhere, because it was so profoundly nurturing and empowering to be in a place that put the feminine, divine feminine first. So, things to think about, guys. Like, do we want to make the world a better place? Do we want me to suffer and die? Do we want women to suffer and die? Is that what you want, men? Sure looks like it.